Hello all, this is Mr. Alexander and I'm here to talk to you this morning about the Unit 6 test review. This test covers a few things, namely long division, synthetic division, and factoring. So let's get into the first problem here. What is the quotient when you divide 2x cubed minus 4x squared minus 16x plus 10 by x plus 3? You've got two choices here. You can use long division or you can use synthetic division. The reason you have a choice is because this is in the form of x plus or minus something. So I'm going to go ahead and use synthetic division. So I'm going to make my little L here. And it says x plus 3, so I'm going to put a negative 3 over here. Remember, when you're using synthetic, it's always the opposite of whatever the constant is over here. So it's negative 3. And then we're going to just put in the coefficients in front of each of the variables here. So in front of the x cubed is a 2. In front of the x squared is a negative 4. In front of the x is a negative 16. And the constant is 10. So I'm going to use synthetic here. And I'm going to bring the 2 straight down. And I'm going to say, okay, what's 2 times negative 3? That's negative 6. I'm going to add negative 4 and negative 6 to get negative 10. Alright, what's negative 10 times negative 3? Well, that's 30. And negative 16 plus 30, that's 14. 14 times negative 3, I'm going to cheat and use my calculator here. 14 times negative 3 is negative 42. I'm going to add those to get negative 32. So right here, this is my x squared term, this is my x, this is my constant, there's my remainder. So if I was to write out the quotient here, I would write 2x squared minus 10x plus 14 minus 32 over x plus 3. There's your quotient. Now number 2, it's a similar question. It says, what is the quotient when you divide 5x cubed plus 7x squared minus 5x minus 20 by 2x plus 3? Now here, we've got to do long division because this is not in the form of x plus or minus something, so I don't really have a choice here. I have to do long division. I'm going to do 2x plus 3. I'm going to divide 5x cubed plus 7x squared minus 5x minus 20. So the first question you should ask yourself, how do you turn a 2x into a 5x cubed by way of multiplication? What times 2x equals 5x cubed? Well, that's 2.5x squared. 2.5x squared times 2x is 5x cubed, which was what we were trying to get. And 2.5x squared times 3, well, let me cheat. 2.5 times 3 is 7.5, positive 7.5 x squared. I'm going to take those and I'm going to subtract them. So when you subtract those, you've got left over 0.5 x squared, bring down the negative 5x. And now I'm asking myself the question, how do I turn a 2x into a 0.5 x squared? Well, 2 divided by 4 is 0.5, so up here this is going to be a positive 0.5 x. So 0.5 times 2 is, 0.25 times 2 is 0.5 x squared. And then 0.25 times 3 is 0.75, positive 0.75 x. And so now I need to put this in parentheses and subtract them. So I've got negative 5x minus 0.75 x, which gives me negative 5.75 x. Bring down the negative 20. And then you're asking yourself the question, how do you turn a 2x into a negative 5.75x? Well, that's going to be negative something. And then 5.75 divided by 2 is 2.875. So I'm just going to multiply by negative 2.875. And so that should give me negative 5.75x here. And then 3 times 2.875 is negative 8.625. So I need to subtract that in parentheses. So that's actually negatives adding, so negative 20 plus 8.625. That's negative 11.375. That's the remainder. So if I was to write out the entire quotient here, I would write 2.5x squared plus 0.25x minus 2.875, and then plus my remainder, which is 11.375 over 2x plus 3. And that's the answer right there. Of course, that's a negative 3.75. That's the answer. What's the remainder when you divide 8x cubed minus 10 by 2x plus 3, or 2x minus 5, sorry. We have to do the same thing. We have to do long division here. So I'm going to do 2x minus 5, 8x cubed. Now, we're missing some middle terms, so we need to add them. We need to put plus 0x squared plus 0x minus 10, like that. So how do I turn a 2x into an 8x cubed? I multiply by 4x squared. So that's going to give me 8x cubed minus 20x squared. And I want to subtract those to get positive 20x squared, bring down the 0x. And how do I turn a 2x into a 20x squared? You multiply by positive 10x to get 20x squared minus 50x. We're going to subtract those to get 50x, bring down the negative 10. And so now we're going to multiply by 25 to get 50x minus 5 times 25 is 125. Subtract those to get 115. Positive 115 as the remainder. So my quotient here is 4x squared plus 10x plus 25 plus 115 over 2x minus 5. And there's your answer right there. So we had to do long division there because of the 2x minus 5. But on number 4, we can use synthetic because it says, what is the quotient when you divide 3x cubed minus 11x plus 6 by x minus 2? Since there's nothing in front of the x, we can do it the easy way. We just use synthetic. So it says minus 2, so I'm going to use a positive 2. The coefficient in front of the x cubed is a 3. The coefficient in front of the x squared, well, there isn't an x squared, so that means the coefficient is 0. In front of the x is a negative 11, and then the constant is a 6. Bring down the 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. Negative 11 plus 12 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. So my quotient is 3x squared plus 6x plus 1 plus 8 over x minus 2. As you can see, synthetic division is quite a bit faster than long division, which is why we usually prefer it. Alright, what is the remainder when you divide 9x squared minus 12x plus 44 by 3x minus 2? Again, we have to do long division here. 3x minus 2. 9x squared minus 12x plus 44. So how do I turn a 3x into 9x squared? Well, I multiply by 3x, and that's going to give me 9x squared minus 6x. Go ahead and subtract those to get negative 6x, because a negative makes a positive, so when you add 6x to negative 12x, you're left with negative 6x. We've still got the plus 44 here. Multiply by negative 2 to get negative 6x plus 4. subtract those to get positive 40 as the remainder, which means up here I can write plus 40 over 3x minus 2. There's your answer. The next 5 questions are all factoring questions, and I'm going to save those ones for the next video. So check out video 2 to see questions 6 through 10.